As we're gonna refresh it, the chat's going crazy. They're saying NA production, dude. They're saying NA production.
But like, it's actually like one of my favorite camouflage skins. It might replace my dinosaur one.
Okay.
Although I will miss the kind of like screeching voice pack.
No, I will
just
not
spam,
miss the screeching voice pack.
Over and over and over.
It's bad news bears with that screeching.
Classic, dude.
Does not enjoy. Because how are you supposed to know whether someone's going to the golf field?
You read.
There we go. There's a little look at him finally.
There's text on the bottom.
Now this is a tier 2 skin, just so you guys know, but it does look dope for a tier 2 skin. That's for sure.
That's a bat.
Like, the tier 2 skins have like been super good recently.
But that's not all we've got this patch.
He's upside down.
I know. So we'll get going through them. The next one on the list is Anubis Jackal Knight. Yes,
that's a cool
also
skin.
Be available in this patch. We'll
that's
have a look
a
at all
cool
these skins
skin.
in-game a little bit later on for you guys at home if you've not tuned in.
Too bad Anubis already has the
the
tier 5.
Flow here. Pom Pom, is this one good or do you prefer Odin?
I actually really like this one because of like effects, but you'll see that
Whoa!
later.
Odin already, yes.
Badass Odin, dude.
This patch too. Saw some teasers.
Him and that Hades skin could have a makeout
mighty,
session. It'd be hot.
Dangerous.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a theme here.
Well, talk about themes. Let's go on again then. It's Tyr, the Draco Knight.
Oh my god, these are all cool.
Yeah, you will see that a bit later.
Is that
Spoilers.
a dragon for a hand?
Yeah, dragon's little metal piece.
Okay.
This one.
These are all cool.
That looks really good. Oh, we saw a little bit of Osiris earlier on. At least his mastery is getting updated. But you know what else is getting updated? He's getting a new skin. Rejoice! You've all been asking for it for a while.
Damn.
Osiris Noble Knight is.
That's a cool skin too. These are all good.
Like he's fighting for good.
Yeah, he is fighting for good. But you know what? What if he fought for evil?
What if he fought for evil? Pom Pom, that's a great segue. I wonder if we have a skin that is Osiris fighting for evil.
Oh
Maybe the Black Knight is what you would like.
Wow,
yeah,
racist Hindu.
Are
Wow.
you a good
Wow,
guy?
it's evil because it's a Black Knight. Holy cow!
About it, but
You're one of those closet
Can he
people
say
that?
that?
Good, but really, you just evil.
I just do like all the like bad options and like the choice.
I don't know if you can say that.
And obviously, July 4th is on its way. We have a new skin to join the 4th of July celebrations, as we generally like to do. And my goodness,
holy,
does that look good?
Yeah,
it's Nox. If you didn't realize already, Lady Liberty Nox.
You got the torch there. Like this skin was
that's
gonna be great.
Oh, she's got fireworks, that's for sure. We'll see what she can do in game with that a little bit later on. And last but not least, we saw the Osiris masteries. Well, we got quite a few masteries this patch that are getting updated. We will be having Darji, Osiris, and Nox. Obviously, Darji's mastery skins will be here, and Osiris and Nox are going to get some updates.
Hot.
People have been asking for mastery skins. We got 3 of them this round.
But if you want to see all those skins in action, stay tuned a little bit longer, and we'll get onto that momentarily, because the main thing you're all mainly here for is to see Pom Pom's sweet face as he tries to explain the reasons we design the way we do.
Yep.
Are you ready for
balance?
I think you do a pretty good job every 2 weeks.
How is balance this week?
It's very focused is the word I'll use.
Okay, why is it focused?
So 4.11 is going to be the patch that people play on at DreamHack for both the Smite Console League and the Smite Pro League. And so because of that, because it's so pro-focused in that regard, we took a lot of pro feedback that we've been getting recently. We kind of continued the changes. We went from 4.10 to 4.11, and these are very targeted change to things for that DreamHack patch. 4.12, 4.13 in the future, we'll go kind of back to our casual focus and pro focus, like mixed patches, where we take feedback from casual players and pro players. But this one is very pro focused.
Okay, so
shift to shield nerf, bracers nerf,
before DreamHack happens. We'll talk about DreamHack a little bit more
download the themes
later on, but we'll start things off with bug fixes. Pom Pom's favorite thing ever. Bacchus fixed an issue where his armpit had golden textures on his mastery skins.
Yeah, that was a pretty good picture. The shadow pit became a golden pit.
And Mercury fixed an issue on the Captain Quick skin, where he was playing multiple audio sounds when activating special delivery. Cool. There's the bug fixes. Nice and short and sweet. And miscellaneous added a notification if a player is about to queue without selecting a quest from an ongoing event.
Yeah, this actually was.
No, please. No, please. Why? Why does this keep happening, dude? I don't deserve this. My connection to high-res TV is poor.
You'll be able to have a little notification for that, but that's all we've got for miscellaneous and bug fixes.
That was a hot fix.
Itemization changes this patch. I'm going to start things off with...
I broke it. I know. I moved my camera and it just broke it, dude.
Thieves this patch is going to be taking a couple of nerfs. The first one is decreased health from 350 to 300, and not only that,
they
decreased the magical and physical protections on the aura from 20 to 15. Pom Pom, why?
So
oh,
this is
they're nerfing
there's
thieves.
going to be another aura item that's adjusted here, but generally aura items are these things that supports get that not only make them very tanky, but also makes their team very tanky.
Sure.
We nerfed Sunder in the last patch, which is kind of causing tanks to die very quickly, and now that's being seen less often. We're seeing the rise of tanks kind of again because these items exist and they're very powerful. So we're toning back down Gauntlet of Thieves, and then we're also going to be toning down later on Sovereignty, because these aura items are just providing too much to the other team. We're trying to keep the supports tanky. This item was just really cost efficient in general. It was 350 health with 20 protect all, which is just very stat efficient.
Sure.
So we're bringing it back down to be a little more in line with its cost, and
Cool.
the other ones are very
Like
targeted to make the aura a bit weaker,
like
to make the support actually about
Every pro is complaining about it
So
being
that was
too strong,
Thieves.
even the
Pom
supports.
mentioned Sovereignty. Let's move on to Sovereignty then. That's going to have some small changes to it. A little bit of a buff in the protections given to the wearer of Sovereignty from 30 to 40. And I think that's just to, you know, allow for the fact that we're going to be decreasing the physical protection aura from 30 to 15. So half the aura, but some more protections for the actual wearer.
Yeah, the wearer will be a little bit less tanky for 5
Interesting.
protections, but the big thing
That's
is
a
that
big
you
deal.
really have
50%.
to
That's a
you're gonna
50%
get it
aura
for the protections it provides you as a
It's a
support
big
player, and then
deal.
you can splash that aura onto your teammates to
Seriously.
help them out, or you can get more other like different passives that could help the team in different ways, or help yourself in different ways. Right now, it was so stat efficient that it was basically mandatory for support players to pick up.
Okay, and that the final item left on the list to talk about this week will be Shifter's Shield. Small change here.
I am so
In
good
cost from 2,050
at predicting what
to
pros want.
500. Pardon, why is it going up in gold?
We made it so that it was better in the situations that it was going to be used for.
No,
so
really?
when you were being aggressive with it, it was much better, and when you were defensive with it, it was much better. Even though when you were aggressive, you lost some protections, you weren't really using it for the protections at that point. So the cost increase kind of makes sense for its new kind of power level.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out with Shifter's Shield. Will we keeping an eye on that going forward?
That's
keep
not
an eye on
the
that.
big.
I
Only
think I forgot to
150.
mention,
150
so
gold
those
is not
are
taking it out of anywhere, by
Yeah,
the way.
Heartward.
That item is still way
Heartward
strong.
is not getting touched because we've already actually seen people kind of forgo this item. We've seen people instead go for like Shogun's Kusari as a different aura item, or even other magical protection items. And magical protection is kind of this different set than physical protection because there's so many things on the map, and most team combos are 3 physical, 2 magical. Physical defense is just more valuable in general. We feel like Heartward's in a pretty good spot where Sovereignty was picked up. It was mitigating towers, minions, phoenixes. It was mitigating the 3 physical gods. So we're very aware.
Are you very aware?
And so that's why that one's being omitted.
Okay. On to
Dude, my
Gods then.
connection to
Over
high-res
Gods. I'm gonna
TV
start
is
things off
just
with
not
Dodgy
good.
First of all, a couple of changes to Dodgy. It's basically just to do with the Powwow. Is it Powwow?
Yeah, powwow.
I got it right. Landing targets.
It's not me. I'm not dropping any frames. It's their stream.
Ability early.
I'm
And
dropping
after
0
firing all
frames.
3 chains, Dodgy will
internet
be shifting
problems.
to dismount the Powwow rather
Hashtag
than waiting for her ability
high-res
to tank.
streams, dude.
Just nice quality life fixes so that Dodgy, the powwow, when she's on it, feels a little bit more fluid.
Okay, well that's a little change for Dodgy.
Little
And 3 more changes.
ultimate
The first
Dodgy
one is
buff,
gonna
I
be
like it.
Fafnir. Fafnir is going to be taking a small nerf yet again. Or is it a big
Ooh,
nerf?
that's not a small
It's
nerf.
Curse strength. The slow is going to be changing on curse strength from 20 scaling up to 40% to be 20% at all ranks. So really lowering down that slow quite a lot.
Yeah, so this is kind of an example
1-2%.
of the pro feedback focused one. We
Sure.
nerfed him previously based off a few things like his heal, his mana cost, so he couldn't do as much. But he was still being very highly prioritized. We saw him still doing
That's a
very
huge
successfully.
nerf to
And we
Fafnir.
want to tone him back down a little bit based off the other pro feedback that we got. And the big thing was the slow. When he had a stun into a protection shred, he had the disarm from the leap, he had kind of the ability to ultimate in the middle of a team fight. He had a lot of things going for him, and that slow, especially in the later stages of the game, was just icing on the cake. So we're toning that back down to 20%. You're going to use it for the stun. The slow effect will still be there, it'll just be much weaker. And this should bring Fafnir into a better spot.
Is Fenrir even released? You talk about him, I don't think he's been released yet.
That's like one of those characters, like, I always just mix up the two because they're right next to each other and they're so close in, like
Well,
lettering.
we're putting a new god in the game that's going to make it much more trickier for
yeah,
me
that
now.
one I can't deal with.
I know, I'm going to struggle with that. But Ganesha is the next one up on the list. If you know
Are they
Ganesha.
gonna
And it's going to
nerf
be
him?
Dormic Pillars change, the ultimate. It's not going to have any damage increase,
like
but
a
it is going to have a
buff?
slow increase here. It used to scale from 20% up to 40%. It's going to be 35% at all ranks.
I guess I'll call that
Yeah,
a
so
buff.
this is kind of the reverse of Fafnir. We're actually adding the slow strength. He was a character that is pretty close to like the middle balance. Most people see him as fairly balanced. He got a little bit of competitive play as well. But one piece of consistent feedback that we got on him was that his
pretty nice,
ultimate
though.
didn't feel like it impacted enough, especially in the early stages of the game. It didn't feel like it impacted enough.
It's a pretty
It
big
is
deal,
very
actually.
easy to control where players are going to move, which is
Pon-
very
yeah,
useful.
Pon's
But like
good
when someone
point.
walked through it, just
His
didn't feel like it
ulti,
had
you
a
just
punch.
walked right
So
through it,
making
but now
slow
there's a little
early
bit
ranks way
less
more
incentive
impactful,
to walk
and that later
through it.
ranks is actually toned down because he has a lot of laking things going for him. He has the damage amplification. He can zone off
Survivability.
He has survivability. He can also just pick someone very effectively with that silence and that charge. And so this brings the early game up, makes it feel more impactful, and then later game he has his other kind of tools to help him.
And last but not least, on the patch notes this week for God Balance is Nemesis. We're going to be looking at the passive here, Scales of Fate.
Nice.
We reduced the power gained and power
Perfect,
lost
yeah.
from 6% down to 5%. So a small tweak, but it's a significant tweak.
Yeah, so Nemesis, this is mainly to kind of reduce her strength as this duelist character. She is very effective at not only shredding you, and getting on you, and then healing from the damage you do, but then it's also stealing power. We're toning that down a little bit. This is not kind of like the final thing that we'll...
A lot of pros were angry at Nemesis.
Change for DreamHack that we want to implement.
Okay.
She's a very powerful character, but she wasn't like necessarily dictating everything that was going on, so we just wanted to tone her down a little bit.
That's a very
We'll
tiny
get
touch, though.
more towards the
If you were playing
mid-season,
Nemesis
before
beforehand,
13,
you'll still
the
play her
mid-season.
after.
We'll be
That's not a big
investigating
enough
mid-season,
touch to
maybe
do
more
anything with
adjustments
her.
or more targeted adjustments to make her not feel like she doesn't
That's
have as much
fine.
counterplay as people would like her. Some people view her as like this ultimate bot, so we're going to make targeted changes that she can still tank shredder and she still has kind of utility effects, but she's not just like an ultimate bot that you bring for only that purpose.
Gotcha. So not a whole lot of changes between Itemization and God Balance this week, just small tweaks ready for the DreamHack.
Pretty
and
small
then we've got
tweaks.
summer coming up as well, I
Yeah.
guess, where we'll see a lot of potential changes.
Yeah, we'll see quite a bit of stuff. We'll have a whole bunch of new stuff for you in the mid-season patch. I don't want to get into it too much because that's for the mid-season patch, but we have a lot.
We'll see how that does. Pompon, thank you for the balance section. I guess you better go and get ready for like going for the skins now, right?
Yeah, I have to make sure I have all the voice packs equipped.
Well, while you're doing that, why don't you have a refreshing beverage? Or find out which summoner near you. You can go and get a refreshing beverage right now.
Wait, what?
He's gonna actually do his shot. It's on Rafa. There's two. He's looking for a third. It's gonna be on Yavin. He picks up three. Obey. They hold their base. He's a god. He is a god. This 4 members left, and into the sky goes Adapting. The ultimate's way down. The Titan is under siege. Energy are looking to be world champions again.
Is this an advertisement for Valencia?
And there you have it, a little
I think
look
it
for you
was.
guys at home at what's available. Coke Esports is going to be available in cinemas for DreamHack for you all to go and attend in Europe.
Cool.
You can find out all the information you'd like to do with this event over at the website www.smitevalencia2017.com, and over there you'll be able to find out how to get hold of tickets and what theaters you can find Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola
to go
made
and
me a
watch
Coke
the
bottle with my
DreamHack
name
for
on
you
it.
guys there as well. Obviously,
It's actually back
all
there.
over
You can
Europe
see it.
too. Most of Western Europe, including some places in Russia that have just
For
recently
Worlds.
been added to. So make sure you find out more about your tickets there. And as you can see, I've been joined by 3 wonderful individuals on the desk. Well, 2 wonderful and Tina.
Harsh.
How you doing?
I'll take it.
First of all, AJ, been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, great. Happy to be here. I mean, new God.
New God.
Good show.
And Chuck, you ready for some card art today and some fantastic skins?
You skipped me for the card art, bro.
I mean, you didn't need for the card art. I want you for in-game footage more than anything else.
Yes.
Let's get on to the in-game footage then and actually have a look through what skins
Give it to me,
we're
Andy.
going to have this patch.
Don't give
We'll
it to
start
me,
off
but-
with Kamazot's Jabalba's Shadow is going to be the first one we have a little look at in-game. And when they get the card art up
Happy
too.
to get the Jabalba reference in there too in the name.
Jabalba,
It's
yeah.
the Mayan underworld for those who are wondering.
And this is a tier 2,
To
correct? So it's
Shibalba.
just basically the way the god looks and the introduction.
Shout out to the show on the
this
route.
one, Chuck?
We just wanted to have the sweet skull mask on Kamazot's, really.
It's just straight up
He's like
badass.
goth
That's really like,
Mayan Kamazot's.
yeah, I like the color scheme a lot too.
I'm down as long as the voice pack isn't screeching anymore, like Pom Pom
No,
was
it's
saying.
the base Kamazot's voice pack, which is
Bring
an
it in.
awesome
Yeah.
voice
That's
pack
a
actually.
tier
The
two,
actor
yeah.
really killed it on there. We love working with that actor.
Oh, should be going in game now. to have
Rico,
a
he's one of our
little
favorite guys to work with.
Close up look. I love the plumage.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got
It's
like
not a word
a,
I get to say very often. It's not a sentence I get to say very often, but I do love the plumage.
with
As far as like a tier 2 goes, it's pretty cool, honestly. They're doing good on the tier
It's actually the
2s.
first time I've seen this in
It
model.
is. Me too.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
But it
Yeah,
does
I
look
really
really good.
like the color scheme again. We've been amping up tier 2s.
the rib cage is a nice touch, which you can't really notice from the card art, but that face mask just worked out super well.
Well, now we've had a little look at that, we're going to have to move on swiftly. Obviously, the abilities stay the same for you guys at home, so nothing's really going to be unusual for you. Outside of the pretty looks and the Bob Ross jumping emotion, which you can't get anymore, I don't
Yeah.
believe. But it's time to
Snooze,
move
you
on
lose.
to the Knights of the Realm, or the Battleground, or whatever you want to call them now. Anubis is the first one. Anubis Jackal.
It's a cool skin. But like,
Now this one
He
has
has
some
a tier
very
5.
inventive effects and animations to go along with it. It's really cool.
Of course, Anubis
Yeah.
gets all the love.
So translating Anubis from a very mage to looking kind of like a a battle mage kind of knight character, we had to do a couple interesting things with
Yeah.
It suits him.
Some of these things happen when we're making, like when we were like, we'll make them into knights, and then we're like, we made mages into knights, and then we're like, well, we better figure that out.
It worked out really well, though. I think the presentation here is super cool. The effects and animation teams knocked it
It is
out.
pretty cool.
I mean, you look at him and you go, yeah, it's definitely Anubis, but it could be just a dude in an Anubis suit, right? That's kind
Right.
of what you're looking for.
The
like
legs kind of prevent that from
I
really
guess.
being
But
the
true.
helmet,
but-
anyone could wear that helmet.
anyone could wear that helmet.
right. To
He's
be fair-
inherently doggly.
in medieval times, they could have put children in those suits to grow up in to make sure their legs would form that way. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Your
from that
rationalization is
brutal
so
history,
dark.
man.
I'm from the medieval times, man. Technically, like that's where it all came from.
Whoa.
Well, there's a little look at the Plague of Locusts.
So do that one again. He's quick throwing his daggers like from his hip.
That's a lot of daggers,
His hand
dude.
is actually animating.
That's a
really
lot of
quickly,
daggers.
and he's pulling them out of like the sheath on his leg, which is super sweet. It's a flurry of daggers.
What's mummified then? Is it like gives them the Black Plague or something?
No,
Okay.
but it's something we use often in Smite.
It's a chains.
It's chains.
Themed mummify.
Oh yeah.
He's
Nothing worse.
imprisoning his enemies.
Oh, those chains look kind of cool too.
Yeah, they look great. I like the projectile.
Nothing like being chained up, dude.
The spears.
That's cool.
Spear.
That's cool, dude.
Worse than getting stabbed by spears, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was no point in just. Sometimes we just used the hands of the Anubis, but then they were just knight hands coming out of the ground. It just wasn't that cool, so we wanted to give it a little more punch.
Yeah, I like the spears a lot.
But it's Laser Beam of Death time. What do we do with this?
It's a lot brighter.
Yep, and I love how it always sears the ground as well.
Yeah, the ground sear is a great effect. And underneath his feet is a little more pronounced than it normally is with this skin.
It's a different treatment.
I like the
Yeah.
3 the most.
It makes your health bar disappear is what it does.
Well, it also comes with a voice pack too, so let's have a quick listen into that voice pack before we move along.
Woohoo! Thou art warrior-like, most wondrous. I excel at all skills. Attack middle lane. Thou hast failed this kingdom. Art thou vexed?
Who did the voice pack?
I did.
Merriment
I just
is
made it like
forbidden in these lands.
really.
Thou.
Knightly.
Yes.
All I can hear is thou.
He's the only one that is like that. Everyone
Right.
else doesn't sound like that.
The
Did you
knight
also-
skins are
I
in
wanted
little
to give him
different
a little
styles.
more change, difference, uniqueness.
Sure. He's a little bit more posh and regal for a knight, but thou is some trouble.
And he's
Flash
like, I am
and
good at
regal
all
knight.
skills except escaping.
Well, that's the Anubis one. We'll move on now to the Odin one. Odin Dread Knight is the next one up on your screen, and he looks devilishly evil.
That is
Yeah.
so good.
Compared to the other one?
It better look good in game too.
Yeah, so we've got two
That's a great card art.
heavily badass themed skins this patch. We've been getting some requests for those, especially for these Odin and Tyr, who are very warrior-like but don't have anything that's just, man, we have made these
That's-
guys as scary as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a badass Odin, dude.
Yes, and of
Yeah.
course he
10 out
kept
of
his
10
one-eyed theme
would
from the base
not
game running through this helmet.
I like this game.
And in the card art,
Mess
it's
with that,
quite,
dude.
quite well featured.
Would not
I
mess
think
with
the
that
panda
at
movie
all,
retired.
dude. Look at that spear.
I
The
mean,
thing is so long.
depends on whether you want to be intimidating or a little trolly, you know?
yeah.
I'm both.
I know.
Well, you can alternate. Now
Yeah.
you've got more things you can do.
I'd rather be both at the same time. Can you release a skin that lets me do that?
Do you want me to put the panda head on the knight?
Yeah,
No,
do that for
it's
me.
not
Do it for me,
happening.
Chuck.
That just makes it trolly by
If we
default.
get
you know, it can't be done.
10,000 tweets at Chuck asking for that to happen, I'm sure we can make it happen. 10,000 is a fair number.
I mean, usually you overestimate that by a couple million.
And one of my favorite things, sweet
Oh.
pentagrams.
Pentagrams.
Of course.
That is sick.
That's not even a spear anymore. It's like a sword spear.
Yeah, it is.
Let's have a look at the Raven.
That's what I was thinking, dude. The blade is so big, it's
Now
more of a
bat
sword.
shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bat shout.
Borrowing some of Kamazotz's buddies. Get bat bombed.
Then obviously
Bat
nice
bomb.
little spin.
Best ability in the game right here.
And finally the ultimate. The Ring of Spears.
Yeah.
Oh, ring
This is
of
Ring of
fire.
Oh,
Ooh, creepy.
I like the
That looks bigger
extra
than
particles
usual.
around the outside is
It's
nice.
got a storm of bats.
Really?
To kind of
Oh, it does,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
supplement it.
Like a tornado.
Pretty cool. I'm down, dude.
Tornado, if you will.
I'm
We're
down.
gonna have to continue moving along, so let's go into the voice pack
I
for
like
this
it.
skin straight away and have a little
Which is
listen into
super
how
evil.
Odin sounds.
Your skill is of the highest caliber. Excellent. My weapon has no equal.
God, that's terrifying.
I wield in my hand the power to change the fate of the universe.
Good grief. That's a lot of power.
Yeah, he ain't joking.
Time itself.
I don't know why, but it reminds me of an evil villain from Power Rangers.
sustain myself on the soul
of babies.
That might have actually been in the casting notes. I remember Tina using that reference.
No, that's
Nope,
for
it's
something else.
Oh, for something else. Okay.
Well, we'll move along to the
Okay, I was
next
like, I know
one.
I
That's
heard
for
that around the
something
studio.
else.
So I guess, spoiler alert, we have another
Yeah,
badass
spoiler
monster of some sort coming up.
It's time for tier. Let's move on to tier.
I don't know anything about
Draco.
Power Rangers. I got nothing.
I think there's a reason it's got Draco in there. It's because of those lovely, beautiful wings that make him look
That's right.
draconic.
There's a couple dragon themes, yeah.
Guys, shout out to Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oreo!
I like those horns.
What?
On that card.
A lot of community involvement in these skins.
Shout out to
This-
Oreos?
There was, and this one we just
the
you know,
cookie?
we took the thing and we converted it to fit on the tier, and we actually went and
pretty
did
cool.
the thing that everyone wanted us to do, which was put wings on him while he's doing his ultimate,
Right.
and in a couple of other cases where it was appropriate.
I almost want to see Odin and Tyr run duo lane together now, just
That's
because
pretty
they're
cool.
like badasses together, and you might get confused which
No,
one's which.
you want to see a solo lane clashing of them against
That is
each
also
other.
true.
That's what you
That
want.
is
I like
also
it, dude.
That actually makes sense in the meta.
All these skins have actually been pretty good.
I like how they're a little bit disheveled there, like they've had little holes ripped into them from overuse.
Oh, that's kind of cool. With the backing animation?
Pon's not going to let him fly back to base.
Then
Fly
he has
back
to
to
get
base,
back to the
Pop.
good lighting in the middle of the.
Fly back to base, Pon.
He can warp back. He can use his hacks. It is nice.
that
I'm
was
glad. I'm glad we did it.
That
Yeah.
looked cool. It was worthwhile.
Thank you.
Oh, that is
Really
pretty
awesome.
cool,
Let's do it
actually.
I was
Why
doing
not?
it
He's
again.
by
got the
TP.
command queued up.
Oh, look at you, practicing. Let's have a look through the abilities. Fearless, first of all. And
Oh. Fearless.
He's got the flamey.
Look at that molten rage.
oh, the flames.
Yeah.
He is a
Sound
dragon
effects.
knight.
And what does the other stance look like, Pon? Okay, I was always interested in how you're going to do the stance changes to make it clear for what stance.
Whoa,
is in.
he switches
the
them.
stance is
Yeah,
really
that's
obvious.
Yeah, we made him very bluish
Pretty
purple
cool.
in this case.
I like the little tint of purple. It's very nice.
Works out nicely. And then, of course,
Cool.
the Wallbringer. It's always nice to see how this looks. I'm guessing there's wings involved. I hope there is.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
That looks dope.
That's good. That's a
Do
good
it from an
old.
offensive stance, just for fun.
Why for fun? Offensive?
The animation's slightly different, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's just the starting of it is
Oh, okay, though, yeah. Just based on the way he's
because he
holding
holds the sword. Yeah.
That looks
I
cool.
like it,
And it's
dude.
got a voice pack too. Let's have a listen into that.
Woo! You are worthy. Excellent. I am the greatest. Beg for a swift death. You will not know mercy by my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Evil and
I can
famous.
tell a
This-
joke about medieval torture devices, but it is a bit of a stretch.
Oh, yeah. That joke was a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
That
the
joke
spam
is a
laughing
stretch
good.
in itself, but how stretching torture device is a stretch. Nice job, Tina.
That's Tyr, but you want some more warrior skins?
He killed it.
Some more warrior
He
skins.
killed the joke.
Osiris is the next one.
He
up.
just ruined that joke.
No, everyone was
Absolutely ruined
We need
it.
skins for Osiris, and I feel you because I play a lot of Osiris.
You do?
A
Is it because
lot.
he's OP that you like playing him, or?
No, I played him before he was OP.
That's true.
Thank
It's
you.
true.
Okay.
I'm just enjoying
I
it
just want to
now
know-
that he
listen,
is.
I just want to know, Chuck, if you're one of those guys that just follows the meta and only plays the OP stuff, or you
That
actually
is
do?
not Chuck. Chuck
I
plays what he
don't.
wants.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
so you actually made...
Although I only start playing dodgy once you got buffed.
Oh, okay.
But
Fair enough.
Chuck's really good at
Fair
Ao
enough.
Kwang. I see him playing the Quanger a lot,
And
dude.
this-
Clanger,
well,
Morrigan, you know.
Thanatos.
Enough about other gods, let's talk more
Thanatos.
about Noble Knight.
at
So,
this
yes.
Noble
Osiris.
Look at
So
them.
the thing
pretty
was,
good, dude.
we
It's a good
this
Osiris
originally
skin.
started with Evil Knight Osiris, and then we were talking about events and whatever, and I, was like, hey, we could just change some things about this and get 2 Osiris skins, and so that's what we did.
He looks awesome.
Right, and there's quite a bit of differences in the model between the two.
That axe thing is actually huge.
The markings on the armor.
Yeah, we physically changed a bunch of things, the mace balls and the shoulder armor and the helmet and the insignias and a bunch of stuff, and we changed the color schemes.
Which is realistic to what medieval times were, where, technically some factions would be slightly
right, you had your
differently dressed.
heraldry, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same as
Oh,
I
yeah.
the abilities then, and go for him. Sickle first. Throw me a sickle.
He wants to hit that
Doesn't
Odin
have
bot.
to hit.
Oh, in hands first.
Oh, in
Ba-
hands.
Basics,
Okay.
basics. Not to use the dev speak.
That's cool.
It's got a bit of a kind of gold, holy.
I like
paladin
the
It looks
glow
bigger.
to
Is
it.
it paid to win? It looks bigger.
It is not.
It's paid to win, right?
The
Dude,
hitbox
that
is
you
the
see
same.
Eagle? His coat of arms or whatever
Oh yeah.
is in the.
Cast it in front of you, Pawn.
Do it up close too. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The double eagle head.
Damn, that's cool.
Tether as well. Show me the
I like it, man.
Oh,
Oh.
it's chains.
Oh.
Of course it's chains.
Whoa.
It's medieval times.
Right?
Yes.
I'm actually liking this skin.
Oh, really good.
A lot.
I like how they wrap around him as well.
Yeah, the invisible mode is looking, or the,
And
broken
finally,
mode
Spirit
is looking
mode,
awesome.
yeah.
Lord of the afterlife.
I wish they would have nerfed Osiris this patch.
And
But
the voice
like,
pack from what we've heard of it so far.
he's
sounds
gonna be
very,
OP.
very
You might as well look OP while he's doing
I guess
it.
that's what you
I
kind of
guess.
have to hear. So let's have a listen into
Yes.
that voice pack and see exactly how it sounds. That's good.
That's a pretty good one.
You've left quite an impression. Astonishing. I fight with honor. Kill me and I shall be a martyr. Have at you.
Have at you.
How about you?
When us knights die, it should say, rust in peace. Get it?
I do get it.
I am a knight, but sometimes I wish I was a simple shrubber.
Oh man, we went heavy on
That
those.
joke seems slightly louder than the other.
It is.
Yeah, that was interesting. The jokes were louder than
getting louder.
normal.
But that happens sometimes. Next skin, though, is the other version of Osiris Knight. It's the Black Knight.
Why is everything so loud now? Everything's getting so loud.
Yes.
Voices,
One of the
so.
It just seems to be do this in Osiris in waves, right? Because we did the Frankenstein one and we did the other version, and now
Yeah,
we're
you
doing
know,
just
a coincidence
It's a
thing.
coincidence. Yeah.
Is it really coincidence?
Yes, it is.
coincidental.
Okay, okay. So you say.
Sure.
Because
I
in
mean-
the other case,
Sure,
I
it's
mean,
a
it was kind of
coincidence.
the same thing though, where we were drawing Frankensteins, and then we liked two of the Frankensteins,
So you
and
did
they
both.
said, "Which one should we make?" And I said, "Both of them."
This guy looks dope too. I think I'm excited more about his voice pack. I think than anything else, just to see the differences between the good versus evil version. But his weaponry looks pretty badass there.
Yes, you got the warthog shoulders instead of the eagle and the more kind of bucket head helmet. Different historical
Symbology is
reference
different.
there.
Yeah.
And his heraldry.
Of course, his
And he has some of the
symbolism.
sickest metal texture in the whole game.
Well, I see the abilities on this one too. We'll start with the basics or the
So
in-hand.
they're actually different
Sure,
skins. They don't have the same. Interesting.
I mean, he's just being thorough.
Same
okay.
model but different.
I've never seen Pom-Pom be thorough before. I'm very confused. That's why it's thrown me off.
So it's gonna be like glowing red or something. Yeah, cool.
Oy.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Swear looks bigger, man. Pay to win. I'm not joking.
Just because it looks bigger doesn't mean the hitbox is any better.
Pay to win. I'm not joking, dude.
Oh, you can see the cross in there.
The dark cross. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of these guys that have red stuff, obviously we can't make the default effects red because that's what we use to indicate when things are dangerous to you.
Sure.
So both this guy and Anubis, their effects from the player perspective are kind of white and black, but to the enemies they'll be red and black.
Okay. And then loaded that too. Now let's have a listen into that lovely new voice pack too.
Wahoo! A skilled fighter indeed.
Okay.
Huzzah! No one
Huzzah!
can defeat me. I fear nothing.
He's gonna say it's just a flesh wound, right?
Draw your weapon. A
He's literally the Black
slayed
Knight.
10 men. Surely you jest.
Nope.
Dost thou
There you go.
even hoist?
Solid.
So we got at least one Monty Python
Which I think is a good
reference,
thing
dude.
here. I think he's just another version
He's
of
We got
evil
one.
dude. He's
Yeah.
not like a demonically
Yeah,
possessed.
no, because
He's
he
not
doesn't look
possessed.
demonic.
Yeah,
He's
we
just
Passage.
right.
and that makes a lot of sense.
Anubis and the Osiris is a little more classical, and Tyr and Odin a little bit more fantasy, and just we got a good spectrum of knights here.
But
But
there
you got
are
a lot of
different
knights.
voice actors.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, they're two different.
And they're knights, and now it's on to Liberty, right?
Yep.
Is it
Yeah.
time for Liberty?
Oh yeah.
Liberty for all.
Liberty
so
no.
this is
Yeah,
probably the
baby.
most tasteful 4th of July skin
Right.
we've
I don't
ever made.
I don't. Raw America was really on
Hey,
I
point.
mean, it looks
Don't
like you're
forget
going
about the
to a
Canadian one.
Raw
Canadian one,
America is awesome. but I wouldn't consider it tasteful.
They're all awesome, but they're more of a parody. This one's actually,
This
has
one
some
is
class
like
to it.
actually
Oh, yeah, she's
pretty
super classy.
I'm not being
Classy
funny.
is.
I'm not being funny. This one wouldn't be tasteful if we didn't change Nox's taunt animation, emote animations, because maybe it wouldn't have been. Maybe it wouldn't have been
Sore spot with the community.
Let's
Why
be
you gotta
honest.
bring that up?
I'm sorry.
Hideo?
It's because when she always talks about that, I'm like, imagine if it did have that old.
It would be
taunt.
quite. We would have had to remove it for this skin. I think it would have been inappropriate.
Well, for the land of the free and the home of the brave, this is a nice little look at the new Nox skin. Obviously, tier 3.
It's pretty decent, dude. It's pretty decent.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Auto attack.
Effects are
Wow.
really cool.
The blue stars.
Damn. I like that.
Oh, that walking.
If you didn't notice,
Sparkly.
she's the Statue of Liberty.
Is that what that's from?
No, really?
Is that what that's from?
No, she said she's not.
That's cool.
Ooh.
Yo, these effects are actually sick.
See.
And
That blue
effect
color
is
looks
red,
so
white, blue if
good.
you're on the other team.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that's cool.
And the silence.
Stay back!
That thing you never want to be in.
Evildoers, stay back!
There we got the dash too. She's so glittery and so
you gotta-
twinkly.
Yeah, we need an Odin to go inside of.
I beg your pardon. Not that sort of show today, Chuck, please. Oh, I like the stars that actually emanate around the
Yeah.
characters that are in there. That's really cool. And finally, the ultimate 2.
Oh, I see the.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
USA.
effects are
USA. That's so good. That's so good, actually.
Yeah,
treat your enemies
that will be a
tonight.
really fun ability to kill people with.
For sure.
Yeah. I like this one a lot.
Now it comes with a voice pack too, so we'll try to have a listen to that. What's up, Tina? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, no, nothing,
got
nothing. Don't mind me.
tangled or
I just
something.
dropped. Yep.
You're on
something.
screen still.
I
I'm
was
back.
like, why did the voice pack say, oh no?
I know, I was like, that voice pack line sounded a lot like Tina.
I was like, what?
Okay, shh, let's have a listen.
Woohoo! Proud of you. Fantastic! America the Great. Everyone is welcome here, even you. Do not tell me who to be or what to do.
Bitch.
What was the most popular dance in 1776? Independence Dance!
Oh, jeez. That's a rough joke.
Good.
Yeah, so
Thank
this
you,
is- this
Tina.
voice pack's
Thank you
very,
for everything that just
independent
happened.
I could
and
not hear you over
motivational.
freedom.
Yeah, women's rights, sort of, with Tina.
Everybody's rights.
Everybody's rights.
This was very, you know, a lot of the other ones are very macho or very over the top, but this one's just a nice, you know,
very
encouraging,
tasteful.
motivational, helpful. You know, like the Statue of Liberty is the
She
welcoming
accepts
symbol.
everyone.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Except
the
the
next
people
one.
on the other team.
We need to move along a little
No,
bit
no,
more.
she accepts them too. Her taunts are very accepting.
Right.
I wrote them very accepting.
Do it, Pon.
Okay.
Taunt. Come on.
Tom did a bunch.
What you can do for your country.
See.
See,
Okay.
and then pawn another one.
Point
Everyone
proven.
is welcome here, even you.
That was a taunt.
Was that towards me? Even
Even
Hey,
you.
I'm also a green card holder.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Masteries, let's move along, because you guys will keep me here all day.
I never
So let's
understand
move
what's
on to
happening here,
Dodgy.
dude.
Yes, Dodgy's getting her masteries in this patch. There's a little look at her.
That's a hot skin,
Oh,
dude.
nice
Woo!
looking weaponry
Little-
inside it.
She is scary.
Oh, a little
in-game,
hot in
obviously, we'll
here,
get to see
dude.
All 3 versions, hopefully, of the Golden, Legendary, and Diamond.
Pon's gonna be busy over there
Pon's actually doing some work. That's what you wanted to say.
with this many
You're
skins.
just more polite than me.
Those chains,
You're
though,
just
dude.
mean to him.
I just can't help it.
Those
It brings
chains,
out-
though.
Snazzy.
Oh,
So
the
we
tails.
Okay, Greg and I went back and forth a lot trying to get the
Coverage?
golden tails to feel cool, and I feel like we were successful ultimately. They
But you
have
went for
like
the-
some sweet golden streaks.
That's some
Okay.
little tips.
Yeah.
Oh, my god.
That
yeah, I see.
is
we see it
a
better now.
good skin. Oh my goodness.
I like how the tails.
Woo!
I
Hello,
was there for
lady.
a second, I'm sorry.
I
That
like
is
those tails instead of
good.
making them too gold, where they would feel, you know, metallic or anything. They have a
yeah.
little.
Man,
bit of a cool
legendary
sheen
skins are
texture
so
on them, but I
good,
like
dude.
that you get a lot
They're
of
so
legendary.
good.
Yeah, we kinda
Man, I
sticked
don't
it
like
in
diamond
there.
skins in
Yeah.
this game at all.
Diamond.
For the
Man, I
rare
don't
few
like
who
that.
already have diamond Taji.
How many do we know how many there is? There's probably a few,
I could
right?
look it up, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, there's Dodgy for you. She's going to have hers in the next patch alongside 2 updates will be happening to the
Oh man, those
Mastery
diamond
skins too.
tails look really cool.
Yeah.
Flexing around.
Oh, they look good on that.
So
Yep.
sparkly.
Well, next one is Nox Mastery updates. We should have a little look at Nox.
Yeah, but are you going to use anything but the American Nox
What was the
skin?
main
No.
reasons for the
No,
changes
you're
here,
not.
Chuck, with the update.
To make her face not be gold.
Why was her face gold?
Old style masteries.
God.
I just want you to know, I'm not trying to cause
You're
issues. I'm just like...
asking me rhetorical questions is what you're doing.
Oh.
Anyway.
That wasn't a rhetorical question. I was like, why was it gold?
Because they used to be 100% gold.
Oh, is that what happened?
Oh, my God. Moving on. Wait, moving on.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was actually pretty good. That's the legendary version too. I actually like the tips.
Yeah,
I never know what they're doing.
We tried to feather in the gold a little bit here, which kind of gave us a neat appearance on Nod.
That's a cool skin. Man, I like legendaries, dude. I love the black and gold color combination. I think it's so good.
Diamond as well? Of course.
That's nothing for me, dude. I lose it. I start to get a semi on the legendaries, and then I completely lose it, dude.
And not just Nox, the final skin we have is Osiris. Mastery skin updates. Was his face golden too?
Probably.
If they're being updated, their faces were gold.
Okay, I forgot, right? It's been a long time since I've seen some of
He
these
just
old
wants to
mastery
hear us say it.
Well, then you haven't played Osiris recently because...
No, I haven't. But if I was, I wouldn't be playing this skin, even though it does look cool on the card art, because I'd be too busy playing with one of the knights.
That's true.
And I'm pretty sure the company would be happy with me doing that anyway, because that costs gems and this doesn't.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
It could
cost let's be real.
Osiris players,
that's true.
we are sorry it took so long, but now you get 5 skins.
Finally, 5 skins in one pack.
Count masteries.
5 skins in one
And
pack.
I am one of those Osiris players, so I will be happy
that looks
to not
cool.
have to be
That's a cool skin.
using Talk Through the Fan Frankenstein.
Oh, yes. that voice pack is rough.
Oh, it sounds like you're running
I
forever.
like the skins, but that. Tina, where were you on that one? Even hired yet?
And the diamond version of Osiris 2. And not just that, we also have one other thing to show you. As long as Pompon has it ready, you can just tell me VGS if he does the Fire Giant Ward. Do we have that ready?
Fire Giant Ward?
I hope so. He's really cute and fun.
Let's have a look at it.
Wait, the Fire Giant as a ward?
Any time.
Watch my back.
Oh, I love him!
How cool's that?
Oh, I love him! He's so terrifying!
Fire Giant Ward.
Oh my god, look how dangerous he is!
He stepped on it? Does he? Can you place it again, please?
He only bought one, Tina. And he has to reattach the camera.
I love
him! Papa buying one ward is above and beyond what he usually does in playtests.
Pod, why?
So,
never mind. We'll do it later.
You could see
but it was a a nice little animation where he put his sword on the ground and
he did. He walked up onto it, dude.
That is cute. Oh, look, Pompon's doing that one for me.
Now, as you can see, boys and girls at home,
he walks onto it.
Of these skins,
I love
the same
that
sort of theme. It's going to be part of an event. And to have a little closer look at that event, we're going to go quickly and take a little closer look at a video we've made specially for you.
Oh no! Oh yes! Your destiny will be found. What is happening? White Knight, Black Knight, dude. What is happening? It's a pretty cool trailer, honestly, for whatever they're trying to get across.
There's a nice little look at that.
Oh,
Tina,
yeah.
tell me a little bit about this video and stuff that
it was kind of cool, actually.
It's been hard at work on this particular item.
In this whole event, correct?
Yes. Wait, would you say my fault?
Isn't no, you were in charge of this.
Oh,
yes, forwarding this the whole time.
Yes.
So what's the whole idea behind this event?
So this event it's a morality game style event where you guide Osiris. You start off as a gray Osiris, so you don't have an affiliation yet. And then what you do is you make decisions for him depending on good or evil.
Okay.
And Pon, if you could bring up the
look at you queuing stuff. As he's she's working on
anyway,
it right now,
while he's working on it, so what it is you'll see the first quest is going to be a neutral quest, and there it's just basically like you start. It says go on your quest to the castle, for example.
Okay.
And when you do your next quest following it, it'll be a morality quest, which means that you will get morality points depending on your decisions that you make. Good or evil. So if you do a good quest, you're going to be a morality bar at the top, and it will fluctuate depending on your points that you receive by doing this quest.
Okay.
Also, when you complete a quest, depending on good or evil, there will be an image that will reflect your decision that you made.
Oh.
Yes.
So you do quests to influence whether you're good or evil, and that can influence how quickly you get certain rewards.
Correct. So as you see here, thank you, Pun. There's to the left. If you click on the bottom, so let's say the first one, that's your first quest.
Okay.
So you can start it.
Do quests get chest?
Yes.
Gotcha.
They give you chests and they give you items.
Okay.
Like skins and the loading frame and stuff like that. So as I explained earlier, there's a good and evil bar at the top, depending on your choices that you make, good or evil. For example, right there, there's the top one is a good choice because it says save a village from the bandits, or you can steal from the village with help from the bandits.
I don't need the bandits. Can I just steal from the villages anyway?
Oh, you can, yeah, but then it's going to be harder because there's like 50 people.
That's fine. I'm used to that.
So
it's not a choice, Hindu.
Well, I have to work with the bandits.
So you either choose either
I'll work
or.
with the bandits. Fine.
And then once you complete one, let's say you take the save the village from the bandits. Once you complete it, so only when you select it and press start will you get your objective, your quest objective, because they're going to be different for both. And then once you complete that quest, come back to the screen and you'll see a new image.
I'm down.
Of this great. That's great. That's Great Knight Osiris right there, by the way.
Sure.
He hasn't affiliated yet. So once you get to the middle of the event. Once you have enough points, depending on good or evil, you'll get your first Osiris skin. That would either be a good Osiris, depending on your morality.
Or a bad Osiris?
Or a bad Osiris.
Cool.
Right. And then at the end, because you're still collecting morality until the end, you'll get the other Osiris skin that you haven't gotten in the middle.
Interesting.
So let's say you got good first, you'll get evil,
so
no matter
you
what.
can see your alter ego, basically.
Exactly.
I get you.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an upgraded version of some of the stuff from Celtic or last year's DreamHack. We wanted to feel like some of the quests felt more impactful in terms of what was happening, and then we wanted to make sure to space
enjoy
out
making
rewards,
those little
but also
things
make sure
just
that you
mean
got
a little
all
bit
the
more.
rewards,
It's
even
kinda
if you
cool.
had final exams and you couldn't complete the quest chain.
Yes.
You will
Makes
still
it a little
get
bit more
the
fun to
stuff
spend your
and then
gems.
times out.
Yeah, this event has a lot of cool features. You'll actually see the story images. There's unique ones as you complete all the quests and move through the event. And based on your good and evil choices, you'll get different images.
Sure.
And
if
different
I can switch
Osirises.
randomly, right? So I can start being good, and then, you know what, I'm going to be evil now.
Once you complete the quest, you can't redo it.
No, but I can do the next quest evil.
You can. Yes, that's correct.
You could start good and then change your mind, yeah. And you'll get different endings at the end based on how you do that.
I change my mood based on what the opinion is. Do I get to kill nicely innocent people? Yeah, sure, I'm down. But do I want to save babies? No, not really, so I'll probably kill them too. But maybe, you know, somewhere along the lines, I'll find a quest, I'm like, you know what, I'll be good here.
There is my favorite quest.
I will share my food with people.
You can
Hindu,
trebuchet dung onto the castle.
Sold.
That's the good option.
Yes, so that's the good option.
What's the bad option?
Fireballs!
Yeah, dung is definitely.
That was like a 4 out of 10 for Tina too. So you guys
Rip my ears,
That's not even loud.
The image, like the art direction for doing that was just really funny. Remember the dung? And the dung icons is great.
Well, guys, thanks so much for going through the art segment and obviously talking about the new event too.
Cheers.
Gonna head over to the community really quick. The community guys are standing by right now.
I think we get community and then we get.
Savannah, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Hello, good. How are you?
Not too bad. The first thing I'm going to mention, David, is this Chivalry event. You know more information about this bundle and how what's entailed to get all the stuff in the event, right?
That's right. It is 1,200 Jemmy Gems to decide if you are a good boy knight or a bad boy knight.
1,200 is that?
1,200.
Okay, and what do I get from that? You know?
I'm sure
you
his
get a
shirt
whole bunch
has
of
like
stuff. Tina
puppies on it,
mentioned
I
two of
think.
them. You get a sweet loading frame, a loading screen, a music theme, and as Chuck mentioned, if you buy into the event, you will automatically receive all of the unique items for the event at the end of the event.
Gotcha. So if you don't manage to complete all the rewards in this quest chain, but you spent the 1,200, you can still get all these skins at the end of the event if you've not completed them yet.
Yep, that's right.
That's kind of cool.
But it's kind of like wearing last season's Gucci by the time the event is over, so you kind of want to get it done while it's going on, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. So for you guys at home, when you spend 1,200, you'll get the Code of Chivalry bundle, which is access to the event, the Tear Skin, the Fire Giant War,
1,200 gems for it.
1,200. And then if you
1,200.
complete all the rewards, you'll get Anubis, Odin, Osiris again, the loading screen, and the Chivalry music theme, all in a pack too. If you do the requests, you'll get all those, but if you don't manage to complete them all, you'll get them all at the end of the event. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Cool.
I didn't have a paper to read off of, so you
No,
cheated.
me neither. I'm not reading off a paper, I swear. I'm just doing it off the top of my
Someone
head.
cut to Hindu.
Cut to me, I've got no paper here. Look at me, I'm so fun. Anyway, moving on to Savannah. We've got DreamHack coming up right now, I believe.
Yes, we do.
what's going on with DreamHack?
DreamHack's coming up mid-July, but the website for that will be going live at the end of Patch Note Show today. You can check out the URL at the bottom of your screen at some point.
There we go. Yeah, road-to-Valencia at smitegame.com, as you can see. And that should have everything you want to know to do with Valencia, like schedules and things?
Yes, and speaking of the road to Valencia, our high-res European team will be going on a tour of Europe, so to speak, leading up until DreamHack. So you can catch those guys at different pubs around Europe, play Smite games, do challenges, and win cool loot.
Yeah, I heard about this. I don't get to go on that because I'm technically classed as North American now. But if you want to meet the European office, you'll be able to head over to DreamHack-2017 at harrisshow.com, obviously, and find out where they're going to be for all the events and things like that. That should be quite exciting. But you guys, tell me I heard there was some sales this week as well, right?
Yeah, today is Flag Day, actually, so you can enjoy 50% off every flag avatar in game right now. And then this weekend is Father's Day, so of course...
It is?
It is!
Yeah,
No,
I don't have a dad, but if you guys at home do, you can get 50% off voice packs and Father's Day skins.
Yep, that's right. And Loki's actually included in this one, too. He's kind of our little joke there because he's also in the Mother's Day sale.
Well, guys, thank you so much for that. David, don't worry about it. I'll be your daddy this weekend if you need it, my friend. Don't worry, I've always got you covered. But from the community team, we'll say goodbye to those, and it's time.
Alrighty then. It's got too real way too fast.
He needed a daddy. I was
way too fast, and then Hindu offered to be daddy. It's gotta stop. It all needs to stop. All of it needs to stop. All of this. Wait. Nope.
Let's have a look.
Nope. New God? New God, alright. Okay.
We will prevail.
That is so ugly.
Okay, I'm already like,
did you hear
what
the
is
sounds of his pants tearing?
Oh, yeah. Was that his pants tearing? Is that what it was?
So.
He's going to be somebody's daddy this weekend as well. So.
Yeah, but it is so ugly. Look at it.
Use a technical art term. You're our lore guy. Who is this dude, and how the hell do you pronounce his name, first of all?
So, why don't we call him Cuchulainn?
Cuchulainn. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Cuchulainn.
Nope.
So he's obviously from which pantheon?
The Celtic.
No, really?
Cuchulainn.
He's a warrior. Just get that out of the way.
This rhetorical, sarcastic thing, you gotta just take it down.
I've done so many patch notes now that everything's rhtorical because I already know beforehand. I can't help it.
I like when he trolled you by swearing that he had not gone, but he actually had. That was the deep troll.
So, his name's Cuchulainn. He's
Cuchulainn.
His name's Cuchulainn, and he's from the
Not
Celtic pantheon. A warrior. What is his backstory?
So he's got three major things. He is the Thriceborn, he is the Hound of Ulster, and he has the Berserk Warp Spasm. So the Thriceborn, his mother and his uncle are out. Their crops have been eaten by these supernatural birds. They're chasing them down. And while they're looking for them, they stumble across this small farmhouse that's just like a place to spend the night.
Sure.
So they and like their army of several dozen people and like chariots and stuff, they all stop in this like two-person farmhouse, eat all their food, drink all their drink. Meanwhile, the poor old farmer's wife is going into labor. So she gives birth to a child. At the same time, a horse outside gives birth to a foal. And then they're like, well, obviously that horse belongs to that child, although why wouldn't it? It's their farm.
That's true.
The weird thing is they drink all their drink. They're kind of hazy. They pass out. The next morning, there is no farmhouse. There is no farmer. There is no parent horse. There's just the child and the baby horse. That's all that's left. So they start to travel back. Sad things happen. The child dies.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sad things happen. The child dies.
Was that a quest?
Sure.
Okay.
He chose poorly. So then the mom's really sad. She's not the mom yet, right? The woman who's going to be his mother. She's really sad. As you are wont to do, you're having a bad day. She drinks a glass of wine. Does not notice that this poor child who's passed away has shrunk down to the size of like a bean and fallen into this glass of wine that she has. So then, several months later, she starts to swell as with child. And all these rumors are being passed around. It's like, wait, she's single. Why is she pregnant? And these weird rumors. So, his uncle is like, well,
this could be the weirdest lore we've ever gotten before.
They go to they go to their wedding night. Sad things happen. The child dies again. But then they still manage to have a reasonably entertaining wedding night. So then soon she is again with child.
Okay.
Right. And then she has this weird dream, and this god appears to her in the dream, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "It's Lug. I am his father." It turns out he's the same guy as the farmer from way back, and it's actually the descendant of a deity, which he has an original name, but he winds up being Cuchulainn. So that's the Thriceborn.
Okay.
Mythology is weird.
Y'all need Jesus.
And even before he was born,
that's all I know.
He was unstoppable.
What just happened, dude?
What would be even better? He died again!
Unstoppable.
Well, let's have a look at the card art first of all. And obviously, with the lore and idea behind this, you have to come up with the art side of things here with, you know, the designers in tow. What was the kind of theme you were really after here?
I'm not gonna lie, the decision around Cuchulainn was, this was mostly pushed by AJ, which was like, we need another sexy man.
I stand by this statement.
Chest and abs.
We did a bunch of beastmen.
He needs to be handsome.
Okay.
No more beasts and monsters.
So what went wrong with the guy at the front?
We met halfway.
Yeah.
What went wrong with the guy at the front? Because the guy at the back, that says everything like that to me.
Yes, sir.
Do I get to play both of those? Please tell me I get to play both of those.
You absolutely get to play both of those.
So as you can see, he is
let's see what happens.
He is the full package of manliness.
Oh, he
looks good.
Full package.
He's got a spear.
I prefer his alter ego already. By
got a spear.
I'm pretty sure I can be sold on playing this character now.
Here's the other thing: is like that's only part one of his lore, right? Later, he goes out. These children are playing on their hurling field. Let's pretend it's soccer. He's like, man, that looks fun. He runs out on the field. They're like, you didn't ask our permission.
Look at that mana bar, dude.
Start to beat him up.
Yep.
He goes crazy angry, beats like this whole field worth of kids down until the king wanders by and is like, you can't just kill all these kids. You're supposed to ask permission to play first. He's like, oh, I didn't know. Can I have permission? And they're all like bloody and bruised on the ground. Like, yes, you can play. So then before they get back to playing, he starts chasing them around. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, they didn't get my permission, right? So he's kind of got this like anger management issue, and which later the king's like, all right, well, you're a good fighter. Come see me. I'm gonna be at this guy's house. Forgets to tell the guy that Cuchulainn's coming. The dog is there. He kills the dog because the dog goes to attack him. So he actually acts as the guard dog for this guy. So you'll see on his tattoos, this hound theming is because he's known as the Hound
this guy's
Ulster.
story is so messed up.
Until he can train a new one for him. Then when he gets even older, he continues this anger management issue. He goes out, he kills these 3 enemies who are like, oh man, I think we've killed more Ulster soldiers than there are men living in Ulster. He's like, oh well, you haven't fought me. He goes out, he bulks out, I'm gonna say. His body changes configuration.
Out. He doesn't Hulk out. He
bulks
out, dude.
Call it the warp spasm, and he actually superheats and he comes back. His soldiers are afraid of him, and so they throw him into 3 barrels of water before he cools down to a reasonable temperature. So that's where you're kind of gonna see this big guy.
Right, the whole lore is just people messing with Cuchulainn, and then he just flips out on them and goes psycho, and eventually he gets so psycho he turns into a big monster.
He really is an epic hero of the Celtic mythology, so there's lots of lore.
Let's start off then with his passive, Fishman. I'm going to come to you for this first of all. It's called Berserk, and as we can see, it's something to do with his mana bar, because his mana bar only says 100, right?
Sure, and if you'll notice, it's actually only up to 25 until Pawn starts wailing on these poor defenseless Odins.
Okay.
So it is mana in some senses. You do spend your abilities out of it, and you do regen it up to this 25 point if you're in base. It'll pop up to 25. If you're walking around and you have less than 25, it'll regen back up to that point. Okay. That's where the similarities differ. This is
getting hit, Genza, and attacking Genza.
To our boy as his meter goes up. Can you get in a little closer?
I don't want to get too close to you.
So you'll start seeing the tone around his skin change a bit, and his muscles are kind of wobbling.
Yeah.
He's like pulsating, dude.
What's going to happen
he's
building this up by hitting enemies. He's doing it through basic attacks. He's doing it through his 1, his 3, and his 4. If we see those later, those are all going to build up his mana up to 100. When it goes above 85, he's going to transform into his Berserk mode. He is.
Oh!
Yeah. He's effectively a stance changer, but he doesn't have like the just flip a button. Instead, he builds up this mana, and when it goes over the threshold, that's what transforms.
Okay.
Second set of abilities.
Hello.
His team stays the same, but we'll get to that. But of the other ones, he's got a normal mode and a berserk mode for all those. His body's all twisted. He's seriously a scary dude.
So when he hulks up and he hulks down and stuff like that,
that was scary, dude.
Comes back down again. Does it have like a sort of a pause between doing that, or can you just continue to flow normally?
So it's not going to do it
Wreck-It
if you're
Ralph, dude.
in the middle of firing your ability. But the moment you're out of that ability, or if you're just walking around, you're going to instantly go into that mode.
Okay, and you have to be, I believe, to get that berserk mode up, it's 85 mana?
85, when you're above 85.
For 3 seconds.
That's right.
And that's when it'll activate.
And you can use his abilities. Casting his abilities are going to subtract some mana, but if you hit enemies with them, they're going to return more than they... If you hit multiple enemies, they're going to return more than they cost. The two only cost mana, so you can kind of use those to manage. All right, I want to turn into this for a team fight, but I don't want to do it while I'm attacking the mid-harpies. Okay. So let's use one of those, spin down to like 60, and then build it back up in the middle of the fight so I can use my whole combo.
One more question about, I guess, the passive is to do with the mana. Like, if you build MP5 or mana in this, does he get a bigger bar?
That's an excellent question. No mana item in the game is going to affect his mana. His mana is mana. It's what it is, so internal to the kit. Instead, it's going to convert to health at 10% ratio. So if I get 200 health from an item,
there's your mana question.
Instead, no change to my mana.
200 mana.
Yeah. 200 mana item is going to give me 20 health. Yes. I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant.
So if I built Transcendence on this character, I would get mana regen, which would become a HP 5 regen.
That's right.
And then also the mana I get from Transcendence would actually convert into health.
That's right.
And power from Transcendence.
That's also correct. Now, he doesn't have...
1 to 10, though.
1 to 10, but
that's right.
Still.
Now, he doesn't have any base mana, unlike any of the other gods, so you gotta weigh that out. But no item is useless on him because that mana will turn into health, and that MP5 will turn into HP 5. If you get healed, if you get mana heal like for meditation, that will turn into health as well.
It looks like he has a pulsating thing,
Yeah. That sounds evil. Okay.
Like a mystical mail, dude.
That's just the passive.
Just the passive.
We've gone through lore and passive so far. So every ability, as you said, rage mode, normal mode, basically there's 2 different variations of that based off whether he's in that form or not.
Right.
And it can be queued whenever, so it's not even his ultimate. That's crazy.
Yes.
So ability 1 is called Barb's Spear. I'm guessing he does something with the spear, AJ.
Of course, he's very well known for his special spear. So here we see
that sounds very, I mean,
and what
I don't even have to make that a
it's going to deal damage to all targets in range. It's going to apply a strong anti-healing effect to gods. And it's going to stun minions, but only stunning minions.
Minions, does that include like red buff,
It
blue
only
buff?
counts lane minions.
Lane minions only, I just check that. Cool.
And as a warrior in the solo lane, this has some really cool implications because you can actually prevent the minions from shooting your minions for a short period of time. It's quite powerful.
Okay. And that's the first ability. Now, what happens in Rage mode, then?
So in Rage mode, you still have...
Is that what we call it?
We're going to Berserk mode.
Berserk, okay.
Berserk mode. So in Berserk mode, you still have a line attack, but it's more of a slam, and this is going to root everybody in it.
Ooh, okay.
Built-in mystical mail, dude, is crazy.
Okay.
But very similar is the way the ability handles and the area.
Get mystical mail on, double mystical mail, dude.
Root instead of the
So the first ability outside of Berserk mode is anti-heal and lane clear, basically, but stun minions out and get some pressure. And then the whole the Berserk version basically is a root that's going to deal decent damage too.
And now, similar to Fafnir, the structure of the ability, behaviors, and shapes is feeling similar between the 2 states, so that it's not
too far out there.
Yeah, so that when you change, you're not suddenly like, oh, what does the one do? It's like, I'm not playing Morgan right now.
So we'll move on then to the next ability, which is called Vent Anger. I'm guessing this is a way to burn some of your mana pool down, I guess, here?
That's exactly right. So it does 3 things. 1, it reduces your mana pool, so you can kind of control when you're going to that Berserk state. 2, it's going to damage all enemies in range, similar to like a mystical mail effect, where it's just going to do this pulsing damage around you, which is great in the middle of a team fight to just throw out some extra damage that people aren't paying attention to. And 3, it's also going to increase your movement speed while it's active.
It's not bad, dude.
Increase your movement speed too.
It's not a bad ability.
So you can chase people down a lot easier with this to try and get in range.
And while you're chasing, like even before you're actually wailing on them.
You got to be careful using that ability too often though, because that's going to you know, slow down your berserk.
Right, like look how low he is now.
And this is the only time we've seen him go below that 25 because he's landing hits otherwise.
And he's not got abilities.
And when he runs out of mana, you got to start landing hits and taking damage to get back because he's got.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you overuse it, you're actually not transforming as often as you could be.
Okay, so you want to try and keep your mana bar as high as you can.
He got his mana back, by the way, for hitting those minions. I wonder if he hit a whole wave with it.
Each ability fire.
If it gives you a ton of mana.
Target at a time,
Like
you're
a
going to
mid-lane.
end up as a net negative.
Well, you can see Pop on hitting 3, then the mana bar slowly chunking up. But if he hits just 1, if he will do that for me in a second, you should be able to see it's a lot less of
no, he's just not going to do it for you. But you're right.
We also berserking instead.
This reminds me. I don't know if I harped on this, but with the passive, you're also gaining mana from taking damage or from your allies taking damage. Although at a much. That's right. That's right. So
Blue buff
old
should
strategy
get
of like,
HP5.
oh, don't hit that guy for just a second, like the Capriol, the Geb Shield, the Kuzenbo. It's like, well, let's just not focus him. Doesn't matter. If you hurt his friends, that's going to tick him off as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
But not nearly as quickly as landing your other abilities.
It kind of feels a little bit like Guan Yu in terms of his conviction heal, where if he's taking damage or he's dealing damage, he's going to generate his heal amount. This is the same sort of thing, but in terms of
getting
actual berserk range.
And the balance is a little bit different. Whereas with Guan Yu, it's like, well, as long as I'm in combat, I'm gaining. This is much more focused on the deliberate. If I'm hitting my abilities, that's how I'm going to go berserk the fastest.
Okay, so that's
Very
Anger,
interesting.
and then it's time to move on to ability 3, which is called
Very
Salmon's
different.
Leap.
Yeah, Salmon's Leap, which maybe sounds a little strange to you guys, but this is a very specific move that he had out of his lore.
The Celts were so impressed with the salmon's ability to leap.
Who isn't? Let's be
Yeah, I mean,
honest.
it's a swimming upstream. It's a symbol of persistence and defiance. But he does a really cool flip spear attack here with a very unique targeter shape. That is an AOE with an added line in front of him.
So that's interesting.
Correct. It does damage. That's what it does. And it can go over walls, but it's a shorter range.
You have like an
so
extended range, dude.
You know, you have to cut some corners or look for smaller pieces. You
To
can't
hit
jump
people
the
with it.
full box of it.
Interesting.
I get you with that. Okay, and what about the Berserk version of that ability then? What is that?
So as a Berserk, it transforms into a dash. So it still has movement ability. It still has about the same range, but instead of a leap that can go over walls, it's a dash that pushes enemies.
Oh!
Okay. Similar-ish to
Wow!
Dragon Strike.
That is a hell of a
It's got a bit
push!
of a Herc feel to it.
Yeah.
And you haven't really seen just him yet using this guy in regular context, but when he's just running around shoulder charging people and hitting them and flipping, it's scary looking. And he makes that scary pounding noise.
Interesting.
These abilities.
Yeah, it's basically driving strike. Yeah.
It's one of those guns that you don't really talk about that, but it does have cooldowns on his abilities. It's not just his Berserk meter passive.
Definitely normal ability cooldowns.
You can see him now. Cool. I just want to make sure because I'm like, hang on a second. If I've just got all this mana built up, can I just spam all these things straight after each other?
They do have cooldowns. His Berserk mode abilities have much lower cooldowns, so they will almost always be off cooldown when you transform into Berserk mode.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And it's not like you just have free mana. If you're not hitting guys successfully with stuff,
you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you can get
and if you get behind and you can't engage a lot, it's easy to get stuck with just no mana.
Okay. Or if you rely on that too much to do your damage.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So would Mystical Mail and maybe Nemean Lion, would they generate some of your mana too?
We had somebody try Mystical Mail with some success. Nemean Lion, like it's not bad, but there's so many cool builds that you can do with him because of the health mana thing that we didn't have that many people try that.
It's just most intense with the mana bar, you know, grow the mana bar back up because you are in combat and fighting and dealing.
I'm digging him. I think he looks fun as heck right now, man.
Well, I guess we should move on, Fish, to the ultimate. Spear of Mortal Pain. He's got 2 versions.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Because only having one ultimate just isn't as cool as 2 ultimates. That's my thought. It's simple math.
Completely agree. So, what does the Spear of Mortal Pain do?
So, relatively straightforward. It's got a bit of a wind-up to give your enemies time to...
big.
Yeah, it is pretty big. He's going to swing a spear around and damage and knock up all enemies in range. It also gains mana back at a higher rate than any of his other abilities to help you, like, use this to trigger your Berserk in combat.
That looks like a good-ass ult,
dude.
dude.
Pretty tough to do for gods, but gives him a big chunk of his mana back for that.
All of his abilities cap out at 3. If you hit 3 gods, you're maxing out your mana.
Okay.
If you're hitting 5, you're still only getting 3
That
gods.
looks good. Anything that's a knock-up is good.
His ultimate version here is called War Cry.
That's right. He's got a massive screen that's going to tremble and damage all enemies in range.
Tremble?
If the bots get trembled, they keep infinitely trembling.
The only thing that stops them that I found is the knockup. The knockup will make him chill.
Regular players will be less effective.
It's a short tremble.
So how does the tremble actually work? Is it like a fear? Is it like a mez?
It's like a Bacchus drunk.
Okay, so you
Or a Cabrakan tremors.
Cabrakan tremors, that sort of
wow.
thing. Just to
like
make
Cabrakan
it
tremors.
One time,
weird.
like Bacchus, it has a duration, and when that's over, like no matter how long you're in range,
and what's
you'll
the
be done
duration
trembling.
on him? Is it a scale?
I don't have it written down here, I don't think.
Press K, pawn.
Let us see, because it's changed over the course.
1 second. 1 second.
1 second.
Consistent.
Wow. Look at those damage numbers, dude. Those damage numbers are pretty good, man. His team fight is insane.
And you can chase one of them down and beat them to a pulp.
Everything he does is AoE, dude.
So what do we expect this god to get played then? Obviously solo lane warrior, I'm guessing.
Sure.
Can he jungle?
He can. We actually had him do some serious success with like coming out of the jungle, ready to go into berserk, and then doing lockdown on the target. So I think he's very capable there as well. We'll have to see how he plays.
The real mark of a true Cuchulainn player is getting that berserk at the right time.
That's right.
And it can be quite difficult to do. But he has got a nice cohesive kit that makes sense on its own, and it's really one of those good feelings of easy to pick up but difficult to master.
I mean, his kit itself is so
the passive
good.
is going to show you when you're transforming into that, when your 3 seconds is up. When you're in berserk, it's going to be counting down.
The numbers look pretty good too.
As we pointed out, the rigging and the animation actually changes his body a little bit. He's got some FX glow, all to show you when you're approaching it. But it is a learning thing.
That's a cool ass kit,
Interesting
dude.
how the character kind of creates this sense of tension, right? Because he's just in the lane fighting. Yeah. Right?
He's gonna suck when they nerf the shit out of him. Maybe.
You have to deal with the giant monster.
He seems to have a lot of base damage in his kit. A lot of base damage, which is obviously akin to Warriors. Warriors just have a lot of base damage. But
how long until he comes out of it? Does he stay there as
20 seconds
damage?
20 seconds.
Okay, so I can't infinitely stay there.
Anybody with that much CC is always good.
But at the end of
Root on us 1.
And you can't gain any
pulsating 2, movement speed, knock up on his ult.
At 25 and have to build back up from there.
Okay, interesting. This guy looks amazing. I'm very, very excited for him.
We hope he's fun.
It's a very, very unique god.
It definitely is. And I'm looking forward to more gods like this in the future, I think, after seeing this version. A few more monsters. Humans in terms of monsters is always never a bad thing.
What happens if I
stack it with mystical nails, dude?
Well, we've not done his voice pack, so let's have a little listen in.
Woohoo! You're amazing! Smashing! I can take on any foe! I get a little hot under the collar. Haven't you heard my stories? It's like they say, the windy day is not the day for Dutch waffles. Ever been to Scotland? Lovely place. But how do they tell which restroom is for who? Attack middle lane!
That was a bad joke.
I hope the Europeans get it, because I don't.
Oh no, I got some of them are really bad. Does he change in Berserk then, if his voice pack?
So his abilities definitely have it. The goal was for a Fafnir kind of feel, where his voice is actually a different voice for his abilities, but I think his regular VGS might still use the bass.
Fafnir has effects morphing on the dragon, so even if you rock, he says the same lines by the same actor, but it sounds a lot deeper and echoey. So I'm pretty sure we employed the same.
Well, Pod knows how to.
That was definitely the goal.
Effects here. And sometimes audio comes in later in the process, so it's possible it might not be in yet. But the intention is definitely for him to sound deeper and. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't quite happen. We'll get those effects.
I prefer
that. I
prefer it being
big guy comes in. Woo!
No, it's just a normal day.
I feel like I heard him saying something.
That's kind of awkward, dude. I love it though. I love it.
With a different voice, like with effects, like AJ was saying. Yeah.
Well,
that's too good, dude.
Cuchulainn.
Nope, not even close.
Cuchulainn.
It doesn't rhyme with
Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn. Let's go with that.
Is the dragon.
Cuchulainn.
Okay. Well, let's have a look at his other version of his skin. Obviously, it comes with a new tier 2 skin version with him as well. So,
damn,
tier.
That's a really cool tier 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm sorry. I was like, ooh, that's
really the black and red, full-on badass.
Not the tier 2.
It's a recolor. Tier 2 is still the same thing.
I want to play this god really bad.
Yeah.
Tier 2s have
not
added
gonna lie.
elements.
I'm sorry, we changed the tier so many times. I got confused myself.
Have we, Hindu?
I always thought it was. I always classed it as a tier.
The tier 2 is actually good.
No one can even tell if he's
even we don't know
confused or
anymore.
not.
I always thought it was a tier 2. But there's a
This is a
look at
great recolor, though. It looks.
Oh, it's not even tier 2. It's a recolor.
A
Actually,
Japanese RPG vibe off of the color scheme.
it's not even as good as a tier 2. It looks sick though.
As well. Does it change to a different looking color, or is he still the same color?
The bits of his clothes that are on, I believe, in Berserk form are different color.
I assume the hair would change.
Papa, show me.
He's got to beat on a bunch of bots now.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Yeah, I love his Scottish accent. It's awesome. Yeah, so you got the red kilt and the
That's actually so
and
cool.
the black tattoos.
No, he looks dope.
See the giant bulging eye?
Yes.
And the different sized arms. He's got like a strong arm and a weak arm.
The eye is mentioned in his lore specifically, and it's mentioned that he doesn't just become, Hulk who's nice and symmetrical and big. He actually warps out and twists and turns, and his like bones crack, and yeah, it's like more like a werewolfing kind of thing.
He
Than
did
just
a kick-ass job bringing that into Smite, I think.
yeah,
That's
the
cool.
animation team really went all out.
Well, this patch,
modeling everybody.
surprisingly enough, this patch has run its course now. It's been a little bit longer than usual, though, even though we had not much balance, but a hell of a lot of
like
skins
it.
A lot of
this week.
skins, complex god.
I like all of it,
lost
honestly.
over.
So obviously, with this new god coming out as well, what's your favourite thing this patch, Chuck, for you? Osiris?
I love the Cuchulainn monster. I love the animations on it. Just the feeling of like running around and punching things and spinning and jumping and doing that crazy scream is too cool.
Same.
I mean, he's a great god. He's super unique, and he was very difficult and interesting to develop. We were all over the place, really focusing on how to make this mechanic work, and I'm super happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I'm sure you're expecting me to mix it up and pick the weird favorites like Sleeper Hit, but it's just Cuchulainn. He's so cool.
It's going to have to be.
Honorable mention for Goobus.
That's pretty much all we've got time for this week on the patch notes, but make sure you do check out other websites.
I mean, as far as the patch notes go, really badass new god. All the patch changes were exactly what we thought was coming. Nerf the Thebes, nerf the Shifter Shield, nerf the Sovereignty, basically. I'm going to be trying out that new god as soon as we can on a PTS and giving them a rundown because